Okay, in this video I'm going to show how to set up AutoSplit with SMO using fadeouts. AutoSplit is a program that basically allows you to have an autosplitter with any game. It uses image recognition to split. So basically you set up images for your split and the program tries to find those images in the game feed, and when it finds one of those images it presses the split button for you. Okay, so what you're gonna need. You're gonna need images for your splits. I'm gonna explain how these are set up in a second. You're gonna need obviously AutoSplit, and you're gonna need your split program. In this case, I'm using LightSplit. First thing you gotta do is make sure your keybinds for both the split program you use and AutoSplit are the same. So you see here, all these four keys are the same in both programs. Second thing, you gotta point to the folder where you have these images up here in AutoSplit. Third thing, you need to set in AutoSplit where you're gonna be seeing the live feed. So I stream with OBS, and the easiest way to do it with OBS is using this window projector. Okay, so to do the window projector, I'm gonna close this one. It's gonna give me an error because I closed the window. I'm just gonna do it again for you. This is my capture card source. I do right click window projector and it opens this window. And this window always has the same size. That's very important. Uh, I don't know how to do this with any other program. I know with if you use Streamlab OBS, AutoSplit just doesn't work. It just flat out doesn't work. Just as a disclaimer. So once you have this little window here, you have to link it to AutoSplit. So the way to do that is you press this select region button. Just draw a square in the window, doesn't matter, and then tweak these numbers. So for this window, these are the numbers. I already know them. If you use OBS, chances are these numbers are gonna work for you. So you see I put 0 as the origin, and it has these weird pixels on the left and the bar at the top. So I'm just gonna crop that, putting this like offsetting like this. I already know what numbers goes here, but you might have to tweak with this depending on the method you use. So this is basically the live feed that AutoSplit is gonna use to check for images. Okay, so let's look at the images for a bit. So you see these are I basically have 2 images per kingdom in SMO 80%, except for Moon. Moon only is only 1 image. So the reason why I have 2 images is because I want to split in fade outs. So if you want to split in a fade out, your image needs to be a fade out, right? It has to be a black image. The problem with that is that you if you do that, you can't really specify which fade out you want. For example, in Cap Kingdom, there's a lot of fade outs before you even finish the kingdom. So the way you do that is you set an image right before the fade out you want, or a few seconds before the fade out you want, and you set that as a dummy image, right? It's a dummy split basically. So you see, this is the cap logo that is shown when you finish the first kingdom, and you want to split right on the next fade out after this image, right? So that's the purpose of these fake or dummy splits. And you see, I flagged that with this D in between the curly braces here. That means this is a dummy split. So what this means is when AutoSplit finds this image in the live feed, it's not gonna press the split button, but it's gonna go to the next split. It's gonna go to the next image. So I'm gonna show you how that looks at the end. I'm gonna show you like a full run to see how AutoSplit behaves during a full run. But I just want to explain to you, all these weird numbers and names in the images. So the first one is this. For example, this image has a 0.9 in between parentheses. That's 90%. So that means that that's the accuracy of the comparison that AutoSplit is going to use for this particular image. So it's going to try to find this image with a 90% accuracy. So you don't really want to put really high numbers here. If you put numbers like close to 100%, it's probably not going to work because the images are being compressed by the program. Like the algorithms it uses are not really perfect, so you don't really want a numbers really that high. But if you have your images set up with numbers around 90%, it's probably going to be reliable enough for you that it doesn't split on wrong spots. You don't want low numbers. If you put low numbers, it's definitely going to split where you don't want it. Second number is, you see this number in between brackets. So this is the amount of time it's gonna wait before it checks for the next image. The purpose of this is basically saving CPU power. So if for example, if you're at the end at cap, and your cascade goal is at 312, you could basically say, hey, don't check for the next image until 3 minutes have passed. I put 2 minutes here, 120 seconds. I could have put 3 minutes, and it would have worked too. it's just a minor thing. Okay. Another thing is masked image. So you can see this banner here. It has the D in between the curly braces, but it also has the M. That means it's a masked image. And you see here, I deleted some parts of the image in the banner and in the moon count in the Odyssey. What this does, if you flag them with the M there, it makes it so AutoSplit is going to ignore those pixels when comparing. And that basically makes the image a bit more flexible because, for example, this would work with any language since it's not looking at the letters here, and it would work for any moon count since I deleted the number there. Um, Last thing to set up the images is the delayed. So delayed is a feature that I added into AutoSplit. I don't know, you might have watched an older video I had on how to set up this that uses a third program. This time I included all the features directly into AutoSplit. So this is one of the things that I added, uh, which is the delay. You see here it has this number in between the hash signs. That's milliseconds. That number is in milliseconds. It's 3.833 seconds. The reason for that is because it's really hard to find a frame where AutoSplit is precise enough at the end of the run because it's all blurry and it goes like really fast when you blast off the wire. And this probably happens in a lot of games where it's really hard to find a precise image. So the way I solve that is I actually use an image before that is pretty easy to find for AutoSplit, which is this frame here, and I just make AutoSplit press the key bind with a delay, which is this number you set up here in the image. So you see I also deleted some pixels here for moon. That's because there are random elements on the background when you're here, like beams of light and rocks falling. And I also deleted the coins because they could be different depending like between runs, and also the health for the same reason. Okay, so settings in AutoSplit. You want to check everything basically. Everything has to be checked when you're doing a run. This custom threshold, custom button is basically saying, okay, make sure you use the numbers that I set for every image. If you untick this, it's gonna use these two numbers here for every image, and you don't want that. You want to customize each image by itself, and this is a process that might take you a while, but once you have the image set up, you're done. So this thing here is very important that you take it. This is also something that I added to AutoSplit that it wasn't there, and this allows you to skip and undo splits without desyncing the programs, right? So I'm gonna show you how it looks when I have it ticked. So I'm gonna start a run, and you see if I skip splits, you see what happened in AutoSplit is that it went from the cab logo to cascade banner. So it actually skipped the fade out. And that's exactly what you want because that way it's on sync with light split, right? If I untick this and I start the run again and I skip a split again, you're going to see now it went to the fade out. But light split is already on cascade. So the programs have desynced and you're basically screwed if that happens. So if you're using dummy splits, you want to check this. This has to be enabled, basically. One little thing, the images that you take for your splits, you should take them directly from whatever you're gonna use as a source for AutoSplit. So I use this window for AutoSplit as a source. So all my images that I took them directly from this window. Uh, you should probably do the same thing just to help AutoSplit be as accurate as possible. Okay, one thing before I show you a full run is I also implemented another feature into AutoSplit, which is the reset image. You can set an image that has the name reset. You can only have one image with the name reset. And what this does is when AutoSplit sees this image, it's gonna press this reset button for you. Just a quality of life minor thing. You can set a probability for it, and you can also set it could be masked as well, and you can also set a pause time in between brackets for the reset image. And what that would do is it's the amount of seconds that AutoSplit is going to wait before checking for the reset image once the run starts. Okay, I want to show you how the reset image looks. So I have it set up in the system menu for the switch because that's a screen that you always see when you set up DSTA in any percent. So you see when you saw that image, it split automatically. I didn't press anything. Okay, I have clips for the end of every kingdom, so I'm just gonna go through all of them real quick so you can see AutoSplit working on a full run. Basically shows the image it's checking at the moment. It shows you the similarity it's seeing with the image, so that way you can tweak the numbers. If you're using different images from the ones I'm using. I'm gonna upload the images I'm using so you can use them as a guideline, or you can just use them directly. If you have the same capture card as me and you use the window projector in OBS, chances are they are gonna work for you without having to change anything. But if you do the images yourself, or you're doing this for another game, I mean, I'm explaining this with SMO, but this basically works for every game. Uh, but yeah, you're gonna have to go through a process of tweaking the numbers of your images, and the way you do that is by looking at these numbers here, because this is what AutoSplit uses to show you the probability it's seeing in real time. So I'm going real quick here, so it's kind of hard to see, but you see this number actually goes really high when it finds the images. Right? And once the number goes above what you set in the image name, it splits. Okay, so I'm gonna shut up until this ends, and I'm gonna show you how Moon looks, because Moon has the special delay. I don't know if you managed to see, but the actual splitting Moon was delayed. I'm gonna show it again, just so you can see it. So I'm gonna start a new run. Let me reset this one. Let me back up the video a little bit. So I'm gonna start a new run, and I'm gonna skip all the way to Moon, right? So what's gonna happen is Lightsplit is gonna find this image, and it's not gonna split right away. It's gonna wait this 3,833 milliseconds, and then it's gonna split. So let's watch that again. See, found the image there. It says delay split, and then the key press comes later. And there you go. And that's the solution I found to have a precise split at the end. This method is like 0.1, maybe 0.2 off sometimes for me, so it's pretty precise. The most people are gonna retime their runs anyway, so you don't really need to be that precise. It's basically as precise as you pressing the key, so that's good enough for me. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how you use AutoSplit with SMO. I'm gonna put all the links in the description. I'm gonna upload the images that I use so you can see them and use them potentially. And I'm gonna put the link to my version of AutoSplit. All these features, most of the features, well, not most of the features, but some features that I mentioned are only available on my branch of AutoSplit. I'm talking with the creators of AutoSplit so they can add them to the main project, and they already added some of them, but they haven't made an official release with my changes yet. So for the time being, you can just download it directly from my fork and use that executable instead of the main one from their website. So yeah, that's it. Peace.